Mr. Mellencamp still calls Bloomington home, and for good reason. Hi there, happy Thursday, Matt Pelser. And indeed, many people still consider WTTS to be a Bloomington station, although we now serve Central as well as Southern Indiana. But Bloomington, I mean, it's always on our minds, isn't it? It's one of my favorite places to visit. And so when I heard about this new book, I knew that I had to check it out. Have you heard of it? 100 Things to Do in Bloomington Before You Die. Author Heather Ray is with me. Good morning, Heather.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. So let's just hit one right off the top. So I'm a big hiker. And as I looked through the book, I saw this. I feel like it would take a lifetime to walk all the trails in just the general area, but I've done a lot of them. The trail at the Tibetan-Mongolian Buddhist Center is not one that I've done before. Can you tell me a little bit about that one?
Yes, no, that's a great place to go hike and experience culture at the same time. So the trail kind of takes you through some of the major landmarks that are there. And each one kind of has a sign to tell you a little bit more about it, but you're supposed to walk clockwise around them, and you'll learn why when you go. And I do talk a little bit more about it in the book, but it is just a really cool spiritual experience.
And I mean, you talk about culture a lot in the book, and Bloomington people know, but if you haven't visited Bloomington and you haven't been to International Row to enjoy the food, I mean, there's just no place like it, in my experience anyway.
Oh, that is so true. You just walk down 4th Street and there is no bad restaurant to eat at. My personal favorite is called Little Tibet. I mean, where else are you going to find, speaking of the cultural center, where else are
Sure.
you going to find Tibetan food? It's a really great place to try. I would highly recommend getting the momos. They're these Tibetan dumplings stuffed with all kinds of yummy fillings, but you have to ask for them to be pan fried. It kind of just kicks it up a notch.
Okay, so, all right, so straight from you, that is the specific instruction, and I'm sure that they'll be glad to prepare it that way for you. Okay, so general question here. What made you want to put this list together, 100 things to do in Bloomington before you die?
Oh, that's a great question. I have actually been bouncing around the Midwest for the last 20 years, and I was filling out a form for something one time and I realized, oh, I've had 10 addresses in the last 10 years. And one thing I've noticed about different cities that I live in is I get really settled into a routine of this is where I go to work and this is the trail that I walk on and this is the restaurant I'd like to eat at, but not really branching out as much as I would like to. And so really the goal for this book was like trying to get people to get out of their comfort zone and maybe try something newer that they haven't done before. So there's a good broad range of everything from a 21 and up arcade bar to a nice white tablecloth restaurant and descriptions for each of those in the book as well.
Gosh, you could do something different every single day and never repeat in Bloomington and the surrounding area, to be sure. And 'tis the season. I mean, we're speaking between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and so, I mean, there's plenty to do with regard to the holidays coming up.
Oh, that is so true. And one thing we like to do is every Friday there's a First Friday gallery walk that goes on close to downtown, and so all of the galleries stay open late. There's drinks and live music, and people can wander and come and go as they please. I'll actually be there December 1st at 6 o'clock doing a book signing at Juniper Gallery, which is another place I talk about in the book. It's a really cool space where they have a little bar in there. You can go have a beer, listen to live music, check out the art. They have a lot of really cool nature gifts. So it's just a really fun space. I'm happy that we'll be there tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. Author Heather Ray going to be at Juniper Gallery, again, to reiterate, for a First Friday gallery walk, signing the book that we've been talking about, 100 Things to Do in Bloomington Before You Die. Go and check it out. Hit the local interest section of your favorite bookstore or pick it up tomorrow at First Friday in Bloomington. Heather Ray, thank you so much for this book, and thanks for the chat this morning.
Oh, thanks so much for having me.